Welcome to Brewing TV, everybody. I'm your host, Michael Dawson. Jake Keeler will be along shortly. Brewing TV is going to ring out the old year and ring in the new with a batch of AK-47 Pale Mild from Northern Brewer. We're going to brew it after work today, but as you can see, Chip and I are left holding the bag while Jake screws around in mail order, it being the busy holiday season and all. What a slacker, am I right? What are your brew year's resolutions? What was 2010 like for you? What was your year in beer? We're going to be talking about these things ourselves tonight over a few brews we made on and off the air this year. And we'd like to hear from you. What were your successes? What did you learn as a home brewer in 2010? Comment below the episode or post them to our Facebook page. Old Lang Syne and all that. Let's check on things, and I'll talk you through the recipe a little bit while we wait for Jake.
I wanna live, I wanna see, I wanna do the things that are best for me. You gotta know, it's up to you. It's time to do the things that you wanna do. Just sing, I ain't waiting no more. I ain't waiting no more. I wanna live, I wanna see, I wanna do the things that are best for me. You gotta know.
What we're brewing today is a pale mild. It's named after one of the only pale milds left in production in England, the AK mild from McMullen's. This was a recipe that I'd brewed earlier this year as kind of a test batch for the Warminster Maris Otter that Northern Brewer carries that turned into a blog post and from there into a beer kit. As you can see, it's just a little guy. We've only got 11 pounds of grist in here, so it's not even quite up to the thermometer stem. We're approaching the mash out, getting ready to sparge. It is just a really nice, light little session beer, and it doesn't have the really heavy dark malt character of a dark mild. It's just a very nice beer to drink. All right, stirring up my little grist here for mash out. It's kind of amazing to think that 11 pounds of grain is going to make 10 gallons of beer, but good things come in small packages. Speaking of which, I wonder where Jake is.
Hardy har har.
Oh, hey man.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you? You were out on the packing line all day today.
Yeah, it was one of those days, you know, end of the year, everybody kind of pitching in, all hands on deck. So had a couple people out sick today, so I thought I'd give a hand on the packing line in the fulfillment area.
That was real nice of you. I've been working over here too, so
I see that.
You'll have fun cleaning out the mash tun later. You got to pull your weight, man.
All right. What if I bring you some of the Brothers Reserve barrel-aged bourbon?
Only if you'll talk to me while I stir the mash and reminisce about the time we were there and saw it in the casks.
And come back. Yeah, it was super cool while we were there to see those barrels and to see that they were doing that. You know, they wouldn't tell us what was in them. And then Dawson and I were at the liquor store just the other day and saw the box and we're like, wait, that's the beer. That's the beer we saw while we were there. So it was really cool to kind of put two and two together and see it in our hometown. You know, we won't be making these anymore. We're going to be changing the design of this Brewing TV glass.
I got to stop breaking them after I drink out of them.
I know. So if you're someone who was lucky enough to get one of these in 2010, it's a true collector's item now.
Fast away the old glass passes. Fa la 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 la
But you
la
can-
la la la.
Now, I think this is their winter seasonal beer.
The burr.
Yeah. So it's the burr aged in bourbon barrels. And one of the reasons I wanted to have this beer and just kind of use it as a conversation piece is just one of the highlights for me this year was meeting, Kurt and Rob Widmer, and also meeting someone like, Mark Stuttrud from Summit Brewing Company. You go to these big breweries, well-established craft breweries, been around for a while, and maybe the popular assumption or opinion is that these people maybe are a little less in touch with the homebrew world or a little less in touch with what's going on. And I found that to be just the opposite, that especially with Kurt and Rob and Mark, that they knew the homebrew world, that's where they came from, they were still tied to it, they were still doing it themselves. It was just really, really encouraging and refreshing to see. And not only that, but they were just the most generous, the most hospitable people.
Funny dudes. Too.
Yeah, and totally great sense of humor. So for me, that was one of the highlights of 2010. I mean, when we started doing this back in May, I didn't expect by the end of the year we had developed like genuine friendships with these people, beyond the industry, beyond even beer, but just really starting to appreciate them as people. And it does make you feel good about being in this industry. It makes you feel good about being part of that continuum, whether you're just a craft beer enthusiast or you're a home brewer. That's kind of what you're buying into,
It's a community.
How about you, man? What were some of your highlights as far as the people we met?
One of my big highlights was meeting Fred Eckhart.
Yeah.
And being able to sit down and talk to Fred Eckhart. That was like a 400 level college class, being able to talk to that guy for a couple hours over beers. It's just so cool to have a conversation with someone who's a repository of that much beer and brewing knowledge, and just to get sort of a first-person account of the history of American beer, especially the history of American beer over such an explosive half century as we've had. Fred has seen it all and been in touch with it all, and you talk about the community, he's been kind of a focal point or a locus for that community for a long time. Yeah, and it was really humbling and really, really cool to be able to sit down and talk to him, and to be able to introduce him to a generation of homebrewers who maybe don't know his work.
Highway to the danger zone.
Reminiscing and feelings are all well and good, but there's work to be done. It's time to recirculate. Maybe next week we'll get him to grow some crazy facial hair and hit another brewery. See you, Roble. Happy New Year. Oh,
It's been a while.
it's been a long time.
Long time. Don't worry though, we hang out outside of work and Brewing TV.
We've
so
still
we
been
do see
seeing
each other.
Needing some more beer.
Well, Dawson's worrying about the mash out. I'm gonna go get some more beer. So I brought with me today the last bit of the chocolate milk stout that my wife and I made back in whenever that was. So I've been kind of hiding this out and gonna crack into this. So as you might remember, my wife told me that she really liked chocolate stouts, and then she really liked Left Hand's milk stout. So I thought, well, we've got this perfect kit, the chocolate milk stout from Northern Brewer. And I thought instead of just making it for her, it was a great opportunity to teach her actually how to homebrew. So we made a 5-gallon extract batch on our stove, And at the end, she really appreciated the process. She loved the beer. And we're gonna go drink some of this.
I'm topping up the kettle. You know why? Because I don't want to oversparge that really small grain bill to make up the kettle volume. Don't want to use too much water, otherwise you're just going to be extracting too much tannin, not enough sugar at the end of the sparge. So it's better to cut it off when your runnings hit 1.008 or so, and then make up the rest of the difference with water added directly to the kettle. It's tasty. The chocolate flavor is still really strong and dominant. How long ago did you brew this?
This is end of the summer.
Yeah, it's held up really nicely.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
What was it like brewing with your wife?
It was fun in the sense that, you know, a hobby that I'm deeply involved in, obviously as a living and as just a, you know, personally, to have a little more insight from your significant other, it helps for sure. And she was a good sport, but she's a potty mouth. There's a lot of stuff we had to edit out. And I was just like, you can't say that. You can't say that. She's like, oh. So it was good. It was a good time. It was a really good time. I think Chip got a kick out of watching us in the marital dynamics taking place over a brew kettle.
Is this something I should try? Is it something anybody should try?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so. Well, in general, let me spit a little wisdom. But if you have a hobby that you care about, you should definitely involve your significant other, at least to the point of them understanding why you do it. If you keep it secret from them or you keep it kind of nebulous to them, don't really expect support. I mean, you know, if you bring them into the fold and they can see why you're passionate about what you're doing, then maybe they'll be more apt to let you buy a top tier system. Look, a free TV!
Hey, Risa.
Let's check out what's on tap here at the Northern Brewer Break Room. We do have some Bell's Best Brown mini keg. We've got some Caribou Slobber from Tim Sullivan, Kolsch by Michael Dawson, and Caribou Slobber by Tim Sullivan. Looks like we have a bit of Caribou Slobber, but
Top secret. There's some top secret stuff in there. It's top secret. Don't. Oh, dude, no, that's a limited edition kit. Oh, you're letting the cat out of the bag. Thanks. Hey, if we go back out and stand by the boil kettle, I will open up a bottle of what my wife said was my best beer of 2010.
That means something.
Yeah! You remember corking this beer, Jake?
I do remember that.
It was a beer de garde. The
Nice,
corks
Charlie.
are in there pretty. Oh, hang on. This has got some pressure behind it.
Oh. Woo! Look at that.
So this was the beer de garde that was bottled in episode something.
Something teen. We were corking it in time for Thanksgiving.
Yes,
So what did people think at Thanksgiving when you had this?
it was a big hit. I'm
Yeah?
lucky to have any bottles left. I had to kind of squirrel some away. Do you remember having some from the short pours after we bottled it?
Yeah, I do.
It was very Bach-like, very clean. After
Wow, look at that.
4 months, 4.5 months in a corked bottle, it's changed.
For the better? Or
Yes.
for the, oh, okay.
I think it's for the better. I think the corks, the exposure, the slow exposure to oxygen, and the corks themselves have really added to the bouquet and flavor of the beer. It's gotten a little earthier, a little mustier.
You know, just through Brewing TV, I think I've brewed beers, or I've, you know, been part of brew sessions where I've used techniques, or I've brewed recipes, or we've tasted beers, or we've talked about techniques that are new to me.
Yeah.
You know, so it's pretty cool that for the two of us and for Chip, you know, we're experimenting too.
While Jake entertains the Cobra fan club, I am manning the brew kettle, ready for the 15-minute edition. Corn sugar, flavor hops, whirl flock. No, don't worry, I got it. It's 10 gallons of beer, baby. So, this is the resonator. This is what I did instead of going to the GABF.
I remember.
And this
I wasn't there.
This is the other half of the batch, the first half. Do you remember we brought on that fishing trip
Yeah,
in
for
October?
Sure. Yep.
And we had it in a keg, and it was on CO2 for a little while, but then we started using it on a hand pump. Not a beer engine, but just a little hand pump and a picnic tap. But after a couple days, after it got kind of flat and degassed,
Yeah.
you remember how it tasted?
It's pretty damn good.
It was still really hoppy, but you could start tasting the malt more and more. I'm hoping to kind of recreate that effect with the beer engine here.
We got the beer engines now that we're carrying here at Northern Brewer hooked
Yep.
up to a 3-gallon keg.
Yep,
It's simple. I mean, it's just a little bit different tubing,
½
½ inch, and then you've got your gas disconnect just to allow oxygen to go in. Correct? So
Or
it
if
doesn't
you
create a
wanted,
vacuum.
there's not much in this keg, so I'm not bothering to hook it up to CO2, but if you wanted, you could hook it up to CO2 and just put it on a really kind of slow trickle.
Okay.
Or you could even get a cask breather to regulate the trickle that the keg is receiving so it doesn't overcarbonate or overpressurize. But yeah, that'll let you prolong the shelf life of the beer indefinitely.
I don't know though. I mean, Brewing TV all year has been a journey into home brewing. It's been a journey into beer in general.
I've really enjoyed it. It's
Yeah.
been very educational.
Absolutely.
For me.
And to end
It's
it
been
right
very
now, to end this year,
Yep.
Brewing TV is not going anywhere. To end it this year with a beer engine at your desk, pouring off a 3-gallon keg of a beer that we made this season for an episode is pretty damn cool. And
Pale mild, chilled, knocked
Yeah.
out,
yeah,
ready for 2011.
yeah.
Let's gaze into the crystal ball a little bit and talk about our group brew year's resolutions. What's on
Yeah.
the docket for BTV, Mr. Keeler?
Well, just the other day I booked the tickets, the plane tickets and the hotel reservations for our trip to the Bay Area.
Ooh.
Yeah, where the three of us are going to be heading out in here in January to the San Francisco area. We're going to look at 21st Amendment, hook up with Sean and Nico, and then we're actually going to follow up with them later in the year back here in Minnesota, where they contract beer, Cold Spring, Minnesota.
Cool.
We're going to spend some time with Jameel at his new brewery,
The
Heretic Brewing.
Heretic, yeah.
That's going to be pretty cool. We'll get an inside look at how the
I'm
brewery's coming
excited
along.
about that.
We're going to hang out for a couple days with Justin and the BN
man.
crew. Yeah, we're going to be crashing at Justin's house and
Dibs on the couch.
and hanging out with Brewing Network on a Sunday session show, filming, getting kind of a behind-the-scenes look at how they put those shows together, who's involved, how they line up the guests, how they do it, and of course doing a couple time to brews in there with various different people. And then running around the Bay Area, San Francisco.
We've got some unfinished business with John Palmer. As I recall, back at the NHC, he promised us a recipe.
He did. He
I
did.
think we'll have to follow up on that in 2011 at some point. Sounds like we got a full calendar.
Yeah.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the viewers who've come on this trip with us this year. Thanks.
I too would like to thank all the viewers. Thanks.
In all seriousness, nothing that we do would be possible without the orders that you place with Northern Brewer. The ingredients and equipment that you buy at Northern Brewer directly funds Brewing TV. Northern Brewer is the only monetary sponsor of Brewing TV. So if you like these episodes, if you like getting this content for free on your computers, on the interwebs, please support the folks who support us, which include Y Yeast, the Brewing Network, the AHA, Brew Your Own Magazine, and most of all, Northern Brewer.
So just remember, when you put an order in with Northern Brewer, tell them that Brewing TV sent you.
Well, the year is almost over. These pints are almost over too. I think we should say goodbye.
I think so.
From all of us at Brewing TV to all of you out there, Happy New Year, all for brew.
And brew for all. Chip, you're the best.
You are awesome, Chip. We need to finish this keg.
Let's do it. Should old acquaintance be?